Hello there, I am Michael Hoffman and welcome to the Natural Way of Being video blog. It's been a while since I've put a blog out. It's been rather busy over here in Ashland, Oregon. Happy summer to you. Hopefully things are going well in these challenging times. Hopefully you're continuing to stay grounded and get the love and support you need when some of these challenging things are happening in the world. So today, I shared the last time I did a blog, and that I've been doing a lot of couples sessions, and so like several, 3, 4, 5 a week. So I start seeing a lot of dynamics between couples and relationships, and I wanted to share something today that I think is often overlooked, and it's when one person says something that quote hurts another person's feelings. Okay, and that's an expression, you hurt my feelings. And I think there's really two parts to this. There's really two issues here, at least, but we're going to talk about the one dynamic that people tend to go to. I'm going to focus on the more overlooked one, as I often do. But the dynamic is about a confrontation. You said this, it hurt my feelings. Okay, and that's how our culture typically deals with this. And then, so the issue is really placed on the person that said the thing that hurt the feelings. Okay, and that's an important perspective. And that often, and then we can learn to be more, what would be the word? Considerate in what we say, so we can learn not to hurt the person's feelings. Important stuff. And the other perspective I think that gets overlooked and that's really important to remember is the person that got their feelings hurt, it is actually their hurt. It's their emotional pain. Okay, and therefore there could be some ownership of that. Like this is my pain. Okay, and then the person that says the thing, maybe they own what they said. If there's something to own there, they can own that. That's their side of it. The person that said the thing, they can own what they said. Were they being considerate? The person that got their feelings hurt, it's really important for them to own their pain so they can, for several reasons, because then they have the opportunity to heal it is one of the main things. And it just keeps the perspective, it keeps the interaction grounded. There's two things going on. This is my pain. If I'm owning it, and if I say to my friend, you said this, I could use an I statement. When you said this, I felt this way. Okay, and my feelings were hurt. Okay, even when we say I statement, notice there's this little bit of a projection, like still there's a little tone, even when people do a great job with the nonviolent communication and the I statement, there's always this little inflection of you hurt my feelings still. So what we want to do is bring that back and allow the person that got their feelings hurt to own that, take responsibility that this is my pain, and I have an opportunity to heal it. I have an opportunity to express it, and that opens the door to all kinds of things in the interaction. Then when we express that pain, when we share that pain, rather than confront the person, which sometimes is appropriate, don't get me wrong, often being in your power and confronting and putting a stop to abuse or inconsideration and standing up for yourself, sometimes that's the most important dynamic. Absolutely. Okay. Other times, a more important dynamic might be an opportunity to share your pain. Maybe the person that said the thing didn't even do anything wrong. Maybe they were just sharing their heart and it triggered or what's the word I like better, activated a feeling of pain in you. Maybe you already had a wound inside of you. Okay, I'll use myself. Maybe I already had a wound inside of me, and then my friend said this and it activated that. So it doesn't make a lot of sense to blame my friend for my pain. It was my pain to start with. Now, obviously, sometimes if they're causing the primary pain, then that's different. But usually it's not that way. So then I can say, oh, my friend said this, it hurt my feelings. I wonder what that's about. This is kind of like let's look at that wound. What part of me got hurt? Is there trauma? Is there emotional stuff? Is there emotional wound there that I can learn about and heal? And then I have the opportunity for intimacy, because then I can share with my friend or my partner or whomever I'm relating to. It then becomes an act of intimacy. Like when you said this, I felt this hurt. And I have this pain, and I want to share with you the pain of my heart so you can understand me more. I'm sharing my heart. My heart hurts right now. And it seems to be about when you said this. So it's not a confrontation then. If I'm sharing the intimacy of my pain, it's not about me confronting, it's an exploration. It's like, wow, for whatever reason, when you were said this and you were suggesting that maybe, I was being a little full of myself, you were teasing me, then it really hurt my feelings. And I seem to have this wound, and I'm sharing it with you. And then the other person, because they're not defensive, because they didn't just get confronted, they actually have more of an opportunity to find consideration. They're now learning about their partner, that they have this wound and this sensitivity around this thing, around this issue, and then they can learn more consideration and sensitivity to that. It's actually way more effective than the confrontation and them going into their guilt and shame about what they said and da-da-da-da-da. And then the person's like, you suck, you hurt my feelings, they never deal. So anyway, you get the idea. So this is the overlooked part. So my invitation is, obviously be assertive. If there's a pattern, if someone's hurting you, put a stop to the abuse, and obviously, but also there's this element of an opportunity for healing, and there's an opportunity to share your heart and share that my heart, for whatever reason, my heart hurts this way. And when around this issue, I have this pain and I'm sharing it with you. It's a totally different intention. Okay. The intention of confrontation or putting a stop to what they're saying, could be valid. But there's a whole other intention is when this happened, it's almost just more of an exploration. I may have said that. It's like an exploration. It's like, this darndest thing, when you said this, I felt this, and it went into this deep, deep hurt. Okay. And wow, I'm sharing this with you. I'm sharing my heart with you. Totally different intention. There's the exposure of intimacy. There's the vulnerability that Brené Brown talks about. I'm being vulnerable. I'm sharing my wound with my loved one. So that's my video blog. My teacher used to say, well, whose pain is it? That was a little more of a assertive way to look at it. But because once both people own their piece of the pie, then healing can happen within each, and healing can happen in the relationship. So that is my video blog. Hopefully this resonates with you at some level. It obviously does with me, and I see it all day long when I do my sessions. So, and I hope you enjoy your week. We're getting close to the solstice. By the way, we still have openings, my little plug here. We still have openings for the fall equinox. I think it's September 16th through the 20th. There are still openings. We need to have we need to have 10 people there to do this, and we still have some people that we need some openings for that. You can get more information at naturalwayofbeing.com. I think it's under retreats at the top, naturalwayofbeing.com if you are interested, or you can reach out to me and ask me more about it to see if it is for you. And I hope you enjoy your week. And perhaps as you go through your week, you can think about, when you feel pain, maybe there's an opportunity to also just share that pain with the person that you're close with. And I will see you sometime soon. Happy summer. Goodbye.